to go. I don't go no more. From now on, everything's gonna be alright. Don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. Don't ever leave me.
This is the start of getting some paint on the 96. First I got to put everything back on, such as the doors, the hood, the deck lid. And before I do that, I'm going to paint all this hardware flat black. I don't like to paint it the color of the car because a lot of times it'll start chipping because the paint will be done built up around the nuts. So I just put a light coat of flat black on a lot of the hardware. Seems like it holds a lot better than trying to paint it the color of the car. Then you can always touch it up as well. I'm gonna be using this cheap flat black. I think I got this from Home Depot. And once I'm gonna let it sit a day, then I'll put everything back on. Here's all the hardware. I guess we'll get to installing all the panels back on now. Got all the panels back on now. Took me a while trying to line everything back up. That's why it costs so much to get a full paint job for us taking panels off, because it's a lot of work doing it, especially by yourself. But I had a little help. Mr. Raw, he was helping me out on some of the panels, but a lot of them I did by myself. So we already got the jams painted. As you can see, they done got dusty now. You can see the flop out here in the sun. Tree sap done landed on it as well. So now we're gonna wet sand the car, get it ready for paint. We gotta remove this hard line when I painted the jams, where I masked it up. I'm gonna do all that when we wet sand it. Let me take you over here and show you what we're gonna be using as far as the wet sand. I don't have to worry about doing the top because I painted that when I painted the jams. Well, before I do that, I'm gonna wash the car off because it got tree sap on it and probably got some trash on it as well. So let me wash it off, then we'll get to for us the sandpaper and the blocks. All right, got it washed up. Well, wiped down and sprayed off. Now, I almost forgot. When I was installing the panels back on the doors, I somewhat chipped a few spots. I think this side here good. Let me take it around on this other side. Like I chipped this area here, lining it back up. So I'm gonna have to put some putty in this here, 2-part glazing putty. Also seen the spot back right here. I chipped that as well. So I'm gonna sand that down with some, probably 180, just in the chip. Wipe some glaze and put on it. I'm gonna show you the glaze and putty I'll be using. This Impala liquid gold 2-part. It's the hardener here. I'm gonna mix a little bit up, then I'll wipe it on that spot there with those 2 spots. Put a little hardener here. I forgot to put my gloves on, but I'm using an old. Alright, this should be good enough for us to mix. I'm gonna take it and put it on with my finger. Just wipe it on. Ain't gonna take no time to do. Let me take it around here. I put some tape around the area so I won't get a glaze and putty in spots I don't want it. See, that should be good right there. Do the same way with this one down here. We'll let this dry and I'll sand it. We'll move on to the next step. I got this one here. Got a little bit more sanding to do right here. Then I'll take the tape off. I hit it with some wet sand. Then I spray some primer on it, can primer. Once I feather edge it. Found another spot. I'm just putting some self-etching primer on it. My second coat. About to run out. I need to go pick up another can. But you can see the first coat. I wet sand all this when I do the car. Alright, let's go around and check out the stuff I'm gonna be using for us wet sanding. Okay, we can go ahead and get this out the way and grab some blocks, different size blocks I got here. Let's talk about blocks. Now when you're blocking, I know a lot of folks, they want to grab a block that's comfortable in your hand, like a smaller block. It's just easy to block with. But when you're doing larger panels, you want to use the largest block you can get because you're going to get it flatter. Just say, for instance, you use a block this size and the dent, it might be bigger than this. Ain't no way you can block it flat with something this size. So if you use a bigger block, you'll be able to cover everything. So that's why you want to use a larger block. Now, for a sandpaper, I got 3 different type grit sandpapers here. I got some 320, 400, and 600. On my last car, I used this 320 because I'm gonna use a sealer once I get through wet sanding. I'm gonna be using 320 as well on this car. And you can use 400 or 600. It's just 320. It cuts a lot faster than 600, but it's gonna leave deeper scratches. So you want to take that in consideration. If you're not gonna use no sealer, you don't want to use 320 or not even 400. You want to use something like 600 because the base coat, it won't cover 320 scratches as quick as you're gonna have to put more coats of base if you use 320. So you want to use 600 if you ain't gonna use no sealer. But I'm using sealer, so 320 I could use. So now I'm gonna go get a bucket of water, soap and water, and I'm gonna cut. I might as well cut it now if I can find my blade. Cut this in half. Oh, here go my blade here. I'm gonna fold it. Cut it in half. But if I was finna use this block here, I can use the whole sheet, which I'm gonna use this block on the hood and stuff like that. But I'm cutting it in half for this block. You can wrap it around the block 3 times. You got 3 areas to work with. This area, also this area here. All right, I'm gonna get my soap and water, then we'll get started. We're gonna use these 2 blocks for now. I got this rigid block. Well, I'm gonna use 3 of them. Got this rigid block with my paper wrapped around. I'm gonna drop it in. Got this rounded block with some 320 on it. Then I got this soft flex block. We're gonna take it over here and I'm gonna show you as far as the different body panels and contours and angles. See this part here? This rounded block would be good for it, because you can get that contour there. But if you was using this flat block, you might cut into it and put deeper scratches there. So this block would be good for that. Then when you get up here, you got another contour body line. You could use this block as well, but it's not gonna get all the way up in there because it's kind of squared off. So you're gonna have to do some of this by hand, or you can use this block here, turn it at an angle like that and get it. I guess I'll get started. I'll start right here. On areas like this, I like to open the door so I ain't got to worry about hitting the door when I'm standing in this area there. So I'll open it. Then I use this block here, wrap it around my sandpaper. Then I got a rag here to keep the surface wet. Now I got a hard line when I did the jams, so I'm gonna have to feather edge that and knock that down. But you want to keep the block flat at all times. Once you remove all the guide coat, you're good to go. Then your body line, it curves down up in here, so you're gonna have to get that rounded block for that. Also up in there, you're gonna have to do that by hand. Caught up. I pretty much got this side done. All this, I got to do the lower half of this door and the top half from here back. What I've been doing, I've been putting some masking tape on all the spots that I got to address. Once I get done wet sanding, it might be like little imperfections, minor imperfections that I got to fill. It's a spot here that I'm gonna have to knock in. I didn't see that when I was doing the body work, but it showed up with the wet sand. I gotta knock it in with this hammer here. I'll probably do that once I finish wet sanding the whole entire car. I'll go back and address all the spots like these here. It's where I sanded it below the primer. You can see the body filler. So I need to re-prime this here, because if I don't, when I start shooting my base coat, this area here will show because this body filler is pierced and it'll soak up the base coat real fast. So I have to prime this to seal it up. But let me finish up with the wet sand, then I'll cut it back on once I get done, or if I find something else I need to show you. I just finished up sanding both sides. Only thing left is the hood and the deck lid. As you can recall, it's been a minute since I sprayed it off. Now you can see the leaves and a lot of debris done fell on it. So now I'm gonna spray it off so I won't trap no debris up under my block. Here's another tip for you to keep from toting a bucket of water around. You can get your old dish detergent bottle, put some water in it, then you can keep it wet with it. It's my last spot, then I'll be done on this deck lid. I'm just taking care of this by hand, using my fingers. Just from here to there. Once I finish this, I'll wipe everything down. Make sure I got all my spots, the minor imperfections I need to go back and fix. Make sure I got all those. But once I wipe it down, I'll cut it back on to show you. All right, let's count all those spots that I found doing the wet sand. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got one on the deck lid. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That ain't including the spots that I already wiped with some 1-part glaze and putty. Let's go over here where to put it. We got this 2-part and this 1-part. We'll use this at the beginning of the video. This for minor imperfections. See, pinholes, scratches, minor dings, and hairline cracks. This for anything bigger than a minor imperfection. You need a hardener so it won't shrink. If you put this in anything larger than something like a hairline crack or something, it'll shrink. So you don't want to do that. Let me go over here and show you this area here. Probably can't even see it, but it's a pinhole. That's all you need to do. Anything bigger than that, you want to use 2-part. I'm gonna go around, remove the tape. You might can see that one now. I'm gonna hit all my 1-part, then we're gonna go back and do the 2-part. You want to make sure you let this dry. It don't take long to dry, but you want to make sure you let it dry. Because if you don't, it's just going to sand out. Some spots I forget I'm going to have to prime. Like those areas there, where I sanded below the primer. Cover up the body filler. Since we done took care of the 1 part, we're gonna do the 2 part. But before we do the 2 part, we gotta use the hammer and dolly to knock it in because it's sitting up above the surface. We're gonna use this hammer with the point. This here to hold it on the back side. If you can get to the back side, I can get to the back side through the trunk. So let's go around here and knock it in first. See, I can open the deck lid, reach down up in there with this here, come on this side, and what you want to do, you want to hit the center of that point, barely tap it, knock it in. That's all you need to do, because if you don't knock it in and try to wipe it, it's still gonna be above the surface and you're gonna hit bare metal again. Then I got a spot right here also. I'm gonna put 2 part in because it's somewhat, it ain't level like it should be. I wipe it with 2 part when I wipe this. I get my hammer and dolly, find my spot on this back side here. Barely tap the point. You need to feel it, make sure you got it tapped down. When you get it tapped down, you're ready for some 2 part glazing for it. See, I don't got much. I don't need much for these 2 spots here. And I just wipe it flat as I can. Once everything dry, we'll sand all this down. Then we'll start sanding all our areas. We're gonna use the same block, same grit sandpaper, 320. This 2 part might take a little longer to block flat than this 1 part. Watch this 1 part here. It don't take much on it. Now you can see that minor pinhole that it was. Now it's time to prime those 3 areas that I cut below the primer. To seal the body filler, I know glazing putties, this glazing putty here is ready to paint, pinhole resistant, but I like to prime the putty areas anyway, especially 2 part. I like to prime those just to be on the safe side. So we're gonna use this sufficient primer to do that with. Let's prime. I hope I got enough in this can. Let's prime this area here. There we go. I barely had enough self-etching primer, but I got all 5 spots. Now we're gonna take our block with 320 on it, go around and hit all our areas, our touch-up areas. That's all you gotta do. Okay, the wet sand is complete. You can see. Don't worry about all the different colors. The white and the gray primer. Got some black on the hood. So I'm gonna shoot a seal on it. So it's gonna take care of that. It's gonna make it one uniform color. Only thing we worry about is everything flat. And we got it flat, so y'all stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna be painting the 96.
We never stop. Right from the bottom to the top, from the ground up. We right from the bottom.